an air inventory of all the oil and gas production in the Barnett Shale because we were working on the SIF, and DFW was out of attainment for ozone, and we're trying to figure out why it could be out of attainment if we had enacted all these processes that we had figured out for the first SIF should work, and they weren't working. So we're like, well, what else could it be? Could it be the gas? So we went out, we did this study, and lo and behold, said, oh yes, well, all the leaks along the way, all the venting, all the emissions in the process are equal to the emissions of NOx and VOC from all the cars and trucks on the road in DFW. And everyone said, oh no, that couldn't be. And TCQ was like, oh no, that couldn't be. And you know, all of industry was like, oh no, absolutely not. And then TCQ had done their own study and not told anyone. Had ERG go back and do a study in 2007, and it found that the emissions were higher than that we had estimated in our study. So after that, we said, okay, so what? So we have all these emissions. What does it mean? And so we went ahead and it's over here. Okay. All right. So we had a hypothesis. We wanted to look at oil and gas production in the Barnett Shale. We want to look at what are the effects on air quality. Does it have an effect on air quality? And so we were looking at the air monitors. And you can see that because of the coloring on here, you can't really tell. But that line with the bump in it up there is the highest levels of hydrocarbons found in air monitors. And that's the Denton Airport monitor up there with the bump. So we looked at hydrocarbon trends. Were they distinct from the rest of the area? And yes, again, the Denton monitor, much higher than what you see in other areas around. Kaufman, Greenville, Boys Club. Okay. So then we looked at, well, what are these hydrocarbons? Are they the same things that you would find in either produced water or natural gas or condensate? And yes, you know, you've got your propane, you got your ethane, you got your pentane and butane, all of these things. So yes, we have speciated it. Yes, it does match up. So then, can the VOC trends observed be explained by the oil and gas activity? You have to couple the two. And the answer is, we looked at natural gas production. We went through and pulled a bunch of records from Railroad Commission, looked at natural gas production in the region, and those different colors are from different areas. So Denton would be on the bottom there. And you know, production in Denton was sort of leveling off. It was kind of, it was straight across. It wasn't ramping up like you would see in some other areas like Johnson County. And then well completions, well, you know, the production was up, but not as many wells were being completed out here. So, you know, there was still a lot of production, but we weren't drilling a whole bunch more. But the condensate production, the condensate line, the production line for the years exactly followed the trend that we saw in the air monitors for hydrocarbons. So then we went through and we did linear regression. You know, is there a good fit? So you got what, 84, 96 propane, 90 for butane. So yes, very good fit. So then we went out and took some canister samples. And conclusions were canister samples taken in Denton County show elevated hydrocarbons as compared to other monitors, VFW. And then we observed trends in the ambient air that matched up with what we were seeing in the monitors and matched up with production levels that we were seeing from queries of the Railroad Commission, production queries from the Railroad Commission. So we also concluded the emissions associated with condensate production was affecting ambient air in DFW and can explain why you have most of the ozone non-attainment days were happening. The highest ozone is being recorded in the area. The Denton Airport South Monitor out of attainment, Eagle Mountain Lake out of attainment, Keller out of attainment. So in this area where you have very heavy drilling, you can see the density of drilling around this area. In this area we have very heavy production. you can also see an effect in the air monitors with respect to ozone. Okay, so that's the long and the short of that study. Can I say maybe 1 more minute?
One more minute.
Yes? Okay, so I don't want to take up everyone's time. But this is what I'm excited about now because, you know, that was all good. And this one, and we were happy to have gotten to that point. And it was, you know, it let us know that we were on the right track as far as meeting regulation, not only from a health standpoint with the ozone, because it affects lung disease, it affects whether businesses can relocate here, it affects highway funds, all manner of effects, you know, from that elevated ozone. Okay, so now we're looking at the different standards. And here's some pictures. So then, you know, so there's all kinds of need that's demonstrated. So we've got the low-level ozone, we've got the air toxic pollution, we've got the particulate matter pollution, we've got the climate disruption, all that good stuff. Well, all that bad stuff. Okay, so then we're looking at developing additional clean air measures, right? So we're looking at a multi-pollutant benefit, you know, looking at the Clean Air Act, and the way that the review is happening with EPA right now, they're going back to reviewing the Clean Air Act, and they're saying, okay, should we cover additional sources? Not we will cover additional sources. So we have to make the case that, yes, you should cover additional sources. Not only that, not only all of the new sources, instead of just grandfathering in all existing sources, it would be very detrimental for places like the Barnett Shale, places that are already built out, if that protection was not afforded to people and facilities in this area. Okay, so we went through all of, hey, where are my slides? Okay, well, that kind of takes all the air out of what I was going to say. Upset about that. But, so I have the, okay, well that's not helpful. But anyway, so I went through and I characterized what that would mean for the Barnett Shale and what that would mean for a shale if it's all built out. So again, it's all good to apply this to new wells in places like the Marcellus because it isn't built out at all. And so that would be great for the air quality. But here, a different approach is needed. And so we laid out a legal regulatory framework for how they could go about regulating existing wells and why that is so important economically. So we looked at a few studies on the effect on property values and what that means in taxes or lack thereof for cities and municipalities and states. We looked at the Cook County study and days missed for work, days missed from school, what that means as an economic impact to the region. And then we also went through and did a study of just municipalities in and of themselves. What are cities having to spend on keeping facilities open late at night, having all these task force meet once a week, twice a month, more security, added staff, all of these things that budgets are already strapped. And so this extra amount, you know, what is the cumulative effect of that on the economy of the Barnett Shale? Because, you know, you always get that other side of it about jobs. Well, okay, in addition to the jobs, what is the cost to the municipalities? They're already cutting things like libraries and so on. So, wish I had those slides with me and they're on my computer so I can get them to you. And you can say that to your computer now so that things can come on to it.
Okay. Thank you, Cherelle. Calvin?